Hello and welcome to the QLA Voice, More Than a Podcast. We have a very nice podcast for you today as we discuss the high and the low points against Leganes on Tuesday, and we are going to give a little preview into what to expect against Sevilla, as well as the lineup that we hope to see as well. So stay tuned, it promises to be a very interesting one. One of the high points from the game against Leganes was, of course, Ansu Fati. He barely had any sort of space to shoot, but he somehow managed to deliver such a great goal from inside the box with precision and placement. And if it's one thing that I admire about the 17-year-old is that he's not afraid to shoot. And he doesn't second guess himself when it comes to shooting in front of goal. And I really admire, his finishing. And so far, every single goal that Ansu has scored for us has been super important. He scored the equalizer versus Osasuna. He scored the opener against Valencia, the opener and the winner against Levante, the opener against Leganes, and the winner against Inter. So talk about such a young guy making such a great impact at a very young age. Another high point would be Junior Firpo. He genuinely had a great all-round performance. He seemed to have, a good understanding and chemistry with Ansu Fati on the left, and both linked really well throughout the game. And hopefully, he can build on this. It was a very good confidence builder on his part. Lenglet, we were so happy to have the Frenchman back. He managed to make an incredible off-the-line clearance. I think it was around the 11th minute. And, this proved to be very important. I think that was probably Leganes' second or so chance at goal in the match. And they were already threatening. And that was a very important clearance. Nelson Semedo, when he came on, he injected a lot of pace on the right side, and he made it really, really difficult for the Leganes fullback. He even almost had an assist to Griezmann, but it was chalked off for being marginally offside. So I have, with Sergio Roberto picking up an injury, I think we are well covered with Nelson Semedo, and we would need him as well to handle the pace of Munir, who plays on the left for Sevilla. And we would really Semedo will be definitely more useful than Sergio Roberto. Ricky Puig, in his 17 minutes, he managed 2 shots, 2 tackles, and won 3 duels. And it's definitely high time he features more. And him coming on in the second half, he offered a lot more than what Rakitic and I think Arthur, who was a bit dormant in the midfield against Leganes, he offered a lot more than what they were doing. And Puig, he pressed well, he brought directness, he brought movement, he brought energy into the game. And with De Jong injured, I expect probably he can get some valuable minutes against Sevilla too coming on in the second half. That'll be very good for the young man. Now to the low points. Now, Griezmann. Griezmann still looks out of place. Yes, he's defending. Yes, he's working hard. But for 100 million euro, and with the resume from Atletico Madrid and from the French national team that Griezmann has, we expect so much more from him at Barcelona. And he really needs to step up and score more. It was, a pity that, his goal from Semedo's assist to him, it was ruled offside. I think that goal could have done him well in terms of building his confidence. But Griezmann, he really has to do better, and we the fans, we are eager to see him do well. But so far it's not happening for him. Part of it is because he wants the freedom to play and operate as Messi, but Messi is Messi, and you can't give two players that same amount of freedom, and they both occupy the same space in terms of they like to cut inside and play through the middle. So it's gonna definitely be difficult, and it's a challenge that Setien has on his hands to find a way to get Griezmann to fit into the setup. I mean, overall, our play against Leganes wasn't particularly good. It wasn't electrifying. However, Leganes, both Leganes and Mallorca, they are at the bottom end of the table, and so we didn't really need to go fifth gear on them, to be honest. However, our real test would be against Sevilla tomorrow and Real Sociedad at the weekend. Well, not the weekend, but I think it's on Tuesday as well. So those will be our real test, and we need to see how we are going to handle the press that Sevilla are going to bring. And that should be a very interesting one. I even managed to watch their game against Real Betis last week, and Lucas Ocampos remains the danger man. We have to be very mindful of him. He plays on the right side, and so Jordi Alba will certainly have a task up against Lucas Ocampos, and I hope that he's up to it. And we also have to be mindful of Munir. Munir has really progressed with the valuable minutes that he's getting at Sevilla. He plays on the left-hand side, and his crosses have been really dangerous, and he has good pace and technical ability. However, I'm confident that Semedo is up to the task and can do a fairly decent job against Munir. They also have a young centre-back to look out for, Jules Koundé. He's like really a modern-day centre-back. He likes to carry the ball forward a lot, and he's just all over the pitch, and it has so much energy. So we definitely have to be on the alert, for those players, and hopefully our midfielders and forwards could be on the lookout, on the alert for when Jules Koundé makes his burst forward and try to break up that play as quickly as possible, and to have us move on the counter. So those are the main players that we need to look out for, as well as Reguilon on the left. He links well with Munir too. So those are the couple of Sevilla players that we really need to keep an eye out for. Hopefully that Barcelona can go out there with the intensity and try to wrap up this one as early as possible. And just looking forward again into tomorrow's match. This is the starting lineup that I think that we would most likely go with. But of course, Suarez, Setien said today that Suarez may not be ready for a start yet and a full 90 minutes. And so keeping that into consideration, along with Frankie de Jong being injured and Sergio Roberto being injured, and Umtiti picking up a very silly yellow card against Leganes, which makes him suspended for tomorrow's match, I think that this will be our lineup, or at least I'm hoping that this will be our lineup. We'll go with Ter Stegen in goal, Nelson Semedo at right back, Piqué and Lenglet in the centre, with Jordi Alba at left back, who comes back in for Junior Firpo. Then in the middle we have Sergio Busquets. I think Arturo Vidal comes in, and the decision will be between starting Arthur and Rakitic, and personally I would go with the Brazilian, so I'll put Arthur in midfield. And up front, I think Ansu Fati deserves his spot again on the left, and I would actually play Braithwaite over Antoine Griezmann. I think Braithwaite has been or was very energetic and physical, and showed a lot of athleticism against Mallorca, and he's hungry to prove a point. And so I would play Braithwaite over Antoine Griezmann because he fits better. And of course, Lionel Messi up front. And, hopefully we get to see some youngsters, maybe PK, depending on how the match goes. Maybe PK can come off and get some rest. And we'll see probably some Ronald Araujo and possibly some Ricky Puig again, and maybe one of Monchu or Alex Callado. And there's a winger in the team, a left winger, Kaik Saverio, it's an Ecuadorian winger, and he's very exciting as well. So, hopefully we see some new faces in the B team players, maybe can get a couple minutes as well. So, thank you for listening, and I hope that you enjoyed this podcast. And don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. This is the Kule Voice, more than a podcast. Until next time, and please enjoy the match.